What's going on, family? Welcome back to the From the Bottom FS channel, man. Today we have MTR, first time on the channel here. He's discussing Justpearlythings and some situations that happened. This video's been out for a couple of days, but let's just go ahead and see what's going on. Let's go.
I wish you luck, and I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes you are. Yes you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to beat around the bush for this conversation, and I'm going to get straight to the point. Pearl, you f***ed up. You knowingly invited a white supremacist and a self-proclaimed racist onto a platform which is primarily supported by, at least initially, and produced by black people. This comes across as insensitive to downright nasty. And I want to be clear, it's not just inviting said person to the conversation that's upsetting, because conversations with people who don't agree with each other or don't agree with a particular position, if done in a healthy way, can promote civil discourse. But your up was to not only not defend the people who help create the content on your platform, but to also push a narrative that is insensitive and damaging to those very same people. Pearl, you know that your staff is mostly black people. And I'm talking about from a production perspective as well as a talent perspective. You also know that the majority of your content utilizes black people talking about black relationship issues. You could have had black people sitting in the same room with this person in order to combat some of the hellacious things that were coming out of his mouth, or to have a different perspective that would have lent itself well to demonstrate the respect for the people that watch your content and that you employ.
And he has a point there, man. The majority of Justpearlythings podcasts and conversations do include mostly a black perspective, and black content creators going up there and speaking on black issue and relationship issues as a whole. And even in a lot of her thumbnails, it shows that diverse background. So it is kind of odd that you have mostly a black, I guess, channel outside of yourself, and for you to bring on a white nationalist who doesn't particularly like the black people as a whole. So let's just see what he has to say and what's going on and what she said here. Let's dive back into it.
Watch your content and that you employ. I don't think that your platform would be as big as what it is today if it wasn't for the essential utilization of black people, black relationship topics, and black talent. And the talent came from all over. When you include the likes of an Andrew Tate, all the way down to a Brittany Renner.
Let's not forget about, I know my first time seeing her channel was when she was doing a reaction to Kevin Samuels. That's when I first was introduced to her. I think that's when the world was introduced to her, initially, and that's where she got her jump start to her channel. Since then, she's been creating great content and having great conversation.
And even from a content creator perspective, from me to a Melanie King, to a Sarah Garvey, to a King Riches, to an Auntie Jenny. So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America. My Africans. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna
You're
be in trouble. This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish, and I'm not trying.
That's what they do. So that's a fact though about the creator of Roots. That's a true statement right there. So let's see how she
people
follows
to
that. Right?
live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say
I'm trying to figure out who is they. Who is that's what they do? Who is that? I need more. I need more details on that. Who is they right here?
to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Now, what's crazy is
Oh man, that statement right there was crazy. I mean, if that's her opinion. That's how she honestly feels. Then that's how she honestly feels. But I don't see how the use of slavery can be used to control people and to control and to have power. I don't see how a black person can use slavery to control people as a whole or individually. One thing I do find interesting, you guys, nobody talks about the Holocaust like that. Nobody takes away from the Holocaust. Nobody takes shots at the Holocaust. Nobody ever says, "Oh, the Holocaust wasn't a big deal," or the Jewish community takes advantage of the Holocaust to control. Nobody ever makes that kind of statement about other communities. We're talking about some of the worst demonstrations that human beings have ever done to other human beings in both scenarios. People have to stop trying to take away the importance of this factual history, whether it be good or bad. It happened. I don't know. It just seems like to me people can take shots at slavery all day because of the group of people that were involved in it. But they are afraid, terrified to say anything negative about any other, servitude of any kind of type with dealing with other people. Let's get back into it.
So that they can control people.
Now, what's crazy is that I came across these comments while I was live streaming a couple of days ago. And what started out as a laughy, jokey live stream where I wanted to talk about my time up in London quickly diverted to one of the worst live streams that I've ever had in my life. And honestly, it was a trip to hell as I discovered the magnitude of the conversation that she had with this figure by the name of Nick Fuentes. Specific to the comments regarding slavery being embellished, I said this on the stream and I maintain it today that Pearl needs to be held responsible for this comment. Likening a quote from the writer of Roots explaining a myth for his people to hold on to does not negate the documented history of the atrocities that happened to black people. And I'd argue that Roots was a light depiction of the savagery that my forefathers had to go through to ensure that I would be here today. But let me explain a little bit further how thoroughly that this actually is, because for me, it comes down to a question of ethics. You're interviewing a known Nazi sympathizer and an anti-black creator and not offering any pushbacks whatsoever. And in fact, you're adding in your own fake news regarding the embellishment or the exaggeration of slavery. Additionally, there are times within the conversation where it's laughy, it's jokey, it's kikiing, especially when you got specific in certain comments that reflected on CP time. And let me also say this is that generally CP time is something that's laughed amongst people of melanation, but it's not taken as a joke when you're doing it with a person who is a self-proclaimed racist. Now that I've had the opportunity to digest all of the information, now that I'm not on live stream with thousands of people looking at me, and in the back of my mind, thinking towards the tens of thousands that are waiting for the perfect reaction for me, I begin to question why you didn't sympathize with the plight of African Americans or black people in general. And not once in the interview did you have at least one pro-black stance or some form of ethical defense or cultural sensitivity for the people who carry your production machine forward or the people that you know that watch your channel. That's questionable at the very least, and it shows to me a degree of misguided that you are regarding our culture, and that you have some introspection to do, and you have to find a newfound respect for understanding more about the people that work for you.
So right here, he's absolutely right, y'all. I mean, I've seen her stand 10 toes down on subjects and on other people's channels, what she believes in as far as in the dating world. I've seen her go against feminists as well, 100% 10 toes down. Interject with intelligence and with facts. And this is my first time actually watching her sit back and just, receive information without questioning anything or without any pushback. And it's kind of like if yourself aren't equipped to, combat some of these things that he's talking about and the reason why he is the way he is, maybe you should have had somebody else on the show who could do that. You know what I mean? It would have been an interesting show if you had, how everybody has their own show. They have the polar opposites, whether you want to do left or right, whether you want to, however you want to set it up. But it just looks bad, man. It just looks bad. And when you have like almost an all black cast and all black talent, and then your thumbnails, you use almost all black people, it just looks bad, man. It's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. Let's get back into it.
Understanding more about the people that work for you, or who a component of the content is made for. The embellishment of slavery is where you display the true level of your insensitivity and lack of understanding about the culture that you have immersed yourself in, whether you like it or not. Pearl, at the end of the day, you f***ed up. I completely, as I said on that stream, denounce your statements. And I believe that you need to be held completely accountable for your words and your actions. And I want you to do it for the sake of my history, for the sake of my community, for the sake of my audience, and the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me, Pearl, the people that found you through my channel because of these actions. And Pearl, we had a one-on-one conversation before I recorded this video. And I told you I can no longer work with you. We had a dating show that was in the pipeline, and I was super excited about releasing this content on your platform and then cutting it up and putting it up on my platform and reacting to it. We did great content up there. But along with these statements that have come up, I no longer feel comfortable in having that dating show footage released along with the other content that was recorded up there onto your platform. I plan in the future not to release more content up onto the channel regarding my time in London. And to be honest, frankly, it really sucks because I had a lot that I wanted to be able
That's respectable
to speak
though.
about. And again, to my community, to my...
Because like he's saying, he's thinking about it from a financial standpoint, his reach standpoint, right? He's like, yo, our collaboration could have brought in more finances for me, myself, and my team. I could have reached more people, seeing how, you're overseas. And I'm gonna have to take a step back simply because this mistake of yours, or maybe exposed, she got exposed a little bit, it kind of reveals the true character. I'm not gonna hold anybody by one mistake here, but that statement and the gesture here is crazy. I mean, you have to know who you're bringing on your show. You have to know why. You have to have at least an idea of the kind of questions you're going to ask him before he comes on the show, or they. And to be honest, several people, from an entertainment standpoint, have brought on several, white nationalists to have the conversation. You have to have that pushback there. You have to have somebody there who, who's on the other side, so your audience can learn something, or so you can learn something. But just sitting there agreeing, it's kind of like, listen, you can't sit up here and agree with a white nationalist, dog. I don't know what else to say. Especially a person who put it out there in public that they are indeed, whatever, and they're sitting amongst your staff, literally recording the show, and everybody behind the scenes or of color or majority, you know, it's kind of distasteful. It's kind of it's just bad all the way around, man. Let's get back into it.
That I wanted to be able to speak about. And again, to my community, to my audience, to the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me into the future, I have to take personal accountability for my working relationship with Pearl. And trust me when I say I take full ownership and full accountability. I had absolutely no idea of the comments that were made in the Nick Fuentes interview. And had I known this prior to, I would not have gone to London. I did not know about this until I came back. And then I went and did a live stream. And then my supporters let me know. For everyone else out there who's ever supported the platform and sent super chats, and for everyone who has been affected by this situation, like I said, I take full accountability. For those of you guys that have followed my platform for a long time, do understand that I've selected, at least I thought I've selected, with a fine-tooth comb who I have chosen to work with. If you guys already know, it hasn't been a lot of people, okay? I've also have a no beef policy on my platform because I think it does us no good to continue to promote fights and spats. I'm all about delivering value at the end of the day. But as a man in this space, I got to take full ownership and full accountability. And along with my accountability, this is now my definitive stance. I can no longer support or associate myself with the Just Pearly Things platform. And for those who still wish to continue to support voices of women that are down into the space who agree with the particular message that we put up on Jump Street, I want you guys to go check out and follow the following female content creators. All right, I got a list of their names right here. Don't want to forget anybody. Chantel Simone, The Crimson Cure, Danica Marie, Six the Goddess, Melanie King, and of course, Shahrazad Ali.
Listen, man, I think he broke it down. He broke it down 100%. He left emotions out of his decision making. He realized this wasn't the best partnership for his brand and for his name and for his channel here. Listen, man, as far as collaborations go, it's difficult to filter out channels that down the line may damage your image or damage your channel here. So shout out to MTR, man, doing a great job over there, man. One of the OG channels on YouTube. Listen, man, and since then she's dropped a apology video kind of laying out where she made her mistakes at. And that's kind of the first step of accountability, man. Whether she learned from this lesson or not, I guess we'll soon see. I don't think this is going to end her channel. But hopefully she has learned from this situation. So as always, you guys, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of the video, man. And let's go ahead and get into it. Until next time, y'all be safe out there. Peace.